Janice Harding, you started the university over a year ago, I believe. What were your thoughts in initiating it?
Well, I had done something called the lecture salon when I was in art college, which was where I gathered some people to give 5-minute lectures on areas of expertise that they were sort of interested in, and it was quite a random assortment of things. I can't remember them all, like a lecture on tea and a lecture on something medical and just sort of quirky things that people knew something about. And I thought it might be nice to do an expanded version of that, so instead of just 5-minute lectures, sort of 40-minute lectures or something like that in people's homes. And it sort of came about via a conversation with a friend Tom, who had said he thought some project like that might be nice to do. And then when you and Wedgie approached me to do something with the Shytstem, I thought it might be a good way of kind of getting it off the ground.
When we first met, I remember you said something about, I can't remember it exactly, about wanting to mend the world, was that right?
Yeah.
Do you still want to do that? And has the university in any way been part of this?
Yeah, I was interested in mending the world, and had a thing called the Fix It Show where people brought broken things to be fixed or transformed, and then had a trolley called the Transformation Trolley, which was like a mobile mending unit. So I'm still interested in that theme of mending the world, and I guess the university was a sort of slight sideways shift into educating the world, so that's been my new project.
The setup for university is quite a simple notion. Would you like to describe it for us?
Basically, I find somebody who I think might speak on a given topic or who has something interesting to say. So I ask them if they will speak, and they do that for free. And then I find somebody who's willing to host the event. So the Universette happens in places where there is a settee or a sofa for people to sit on. And the person who's willing to host it, they do it for free as well, and they tell me how many spaces they have, and then I email out my mailing list and say, this is the lecture, this is the time, and then they respond, and then I send them the address so that we kind of are able to count how many people, how many spaces there are. And then everybody who attends the university brings some food or drink to share. So we start and usually have half an hour eating and drinking together, and then about 30 to 40 minutes lecture, and then 20 minutes questions, and then people are free to leave or to hang about and have a chat afterwards.
Is there a dream or wish list of people you would like to get in to do a lecture or a talk? Does such a thing exist?
Not really. Sometimes I think, oh, it might be nice to get like famous people or famous artists or something, but then in some ways I think it shifts it too much into being something other than it is. So in some ways I quite like just having people that I come across and who are talking about something, and I just think, oh, that sounds like an interesting topic for a university. So it happens more organically, really. Or sometimes I'll kind of meet somebody who's talking about somebody who did such and such, and I'll think they might be willing. And in a way, the fact that the person who lectures does it for free is quite a kind of, it sort of shrinks it down to people who are willing to be involved in an event like that. And I kind of think once you move it into paying people, A, I don't really have the finances, and B, it shifts it into being something that people then have to pay to attend. So I guess the wish list is people who I think have something interesting to say and who are willing to do that for free and sort of enter into the spirit of the university.
Is there a kind of wish list for topics?
I quite like the topics being quite diverse, I suppose. So, like the last one that we had just before Christmas was about AIDS and HIV in Africa, and it was a doctor who'd worked on a project sort of in Uganda, and I quite like the way that the different topics often attract a completely different group of people, and sometimes people have never been to university before. So I guess I don't have quite a really prescriptive thing, but I like it to be not just sort of about art as such, but about kind of literature or medicine or engineering or whatever. I kind of am quite interested in getting people thinking outside the scope of just their area of expertise, and it's good for me as well, and then kind of being able to discuss that and ask questions at the end. So I guess that's kind of what I'm interested in. And also, I mean, ideally I'd like the audience to be quite diverse as well, so it's not just artists, but it could be people from all different walks of life. I think that can work quite well. So it's often people who've not met before, so we're thrown into somebody's sitting room and end up having quite a nice chat usually. And I'm often surprised that because I've been working full time for last year, and sometimes on a Monday evening, which is when they usually happen, I just think, oh, I can't be bothered with this right now. It just seems a bit of a hassle to try and kind of get up the energy after a full day's work. But as soon as it starts, every time I've kind of thought, oh no, this is worth doing, because everybody there seems to really enjoy it and I really enjoy it, and it just kind of gets people thinking and talking, and it made me think, no, it is worth doing and it's enjoyable, and I'm glad that we've done it really.
You like the Shytstem, I don't mean you like the Shytstem, but like the Shytstem, are completely self-funded. Do you think a budget, if you had a budget for this, do you think that, how would that change it, or would that be good? Or, yeah.
I have thought about that, because sometimes people say you should apply for funding or you should do this, that or the other. And I mean, I suppose in terms of applying for funding, I don't really want to, I don't think, because I think it does change it, because I like the fact that people do it for free, because I think it's a self-selecting kind of criteria in a way that a lot of people wouldn't want to do that, and I kind of like the fact that it's people's generosity that actually means a lecture will happen, and I also like the fact that it's people's generosity that host it as well, and it works alright. I mean, sometimes, say if a lecturer has to travel or has to pay for a taxi to carry something there or whatever, sometimes then I'll just pay for that out of my own pocket, which I don't mind, but otherwise it kind of funds itself in a way, because everybody just brings a little bit of food, and it doesn't have to be much. I just ask people bring something, so yeah, I think I don't want funding really.
You committed yourself to seeing through to the end of the Shytstem as well with the university, I believe, and now, well, the official sort of box section of the Shytstem's coming to an end. I'm just wondering what's next for Janice Harding and what's next for the university.
I haven't fully decided actually what's next. I mean, I have 3 more lectures lined up of people who we'd already discussed doing it, so they'll happen in the next few months. And then I guess it's review time really, to decide whether to have a break or whether to keep going or whether to change it slightly. I mean, it's been enjoyable and sort of successful in as much as it's worked and kind of people have enjoyed it, so I think it's probably worth pursuing and keeping going with in some form, but it's probably worth reviewing and seeing if things need changing or whatever as well. But I mean, it's been great working with the Shytstem as well, so in a way it changes it slightly when that comes to an end as well, I think, because that's been the kind of place for the website and all that kind of stuff, which I don't know how to do myself. But yes, I think it'll change, but it won't necessarily finish at that point. And I suppose as well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you and Wedgie and the Shytstem for your support, and also to the hosts who've hosted and the lecturers and to all the people that come to all the universities this last year. So thank you.
Janice Howden, thank you.